how are they used in the governance standpoint? So reference data are used in glossary definitions really importantly, like define scope and context. So you might say, what is an active employee? Well, an active employee is an employee with the status of A and full-time, so you can actually use those types of references. And that could be in the functional definition if you're talking about sort of what we call a master list, like a list that is elevated above any particular data system, a functional list. Or it could be in a technical definition, like specifically define how to pull something in a particular system for that code. Data quality and data integrity is an important use for this. So tracking valid values, that's another reason to manage the reference data is if you've got real anecdotal database integrity problems or data quality problems associated with bad values or old values, you can manage the lists to be used in rules for you. Reporting and analytics, like oftentimes you're using reference data lists to manage sort of calculations or countings, but like selections and sorting. Oftentimes they're parameters, like you set up a report and you might have, report by employee class, and the employee class is your reference data list. It's full-time, part-time, adjunct, whatever, and people are selecting that list. Or understanding just generally the populations and scopes. I want everyone who is in this cohort or whatever. Data integration is really important. Understanding like the list of statuses and how they map between systems. We talk about this in terms of a master list, and then in a group, and then a set of lists. So within your organization, you may have an active and an inactive status, but then and that's your master values. And in other lists, you've got others in various data system implementations. You have different values, a 1 and a 0, and a yes and a no, or a IN and an A or whatever, and those can map up between each other as well as up to the master. And understanding those codes and what they mean and how they change is really important for building integrations, as well as for standardizing your data across all systems and implementing new systems. So if you're going to go implement a new CRM or a new manufacturing application or something, and you have to set up all your codes, if your software implementation people don't do this, then you should push back hard on it. But you want to try to understand what all of your existing kind of organizational values are for things, and don't reinvent them all in a new system. Try to understand how they map. If you want to make them different than a new system, that's great. But know the relationship between those things. So having transparency and visibility into your current values and your new values are really important for implementations and integration. And then lastly, we talked about inventory, understanding and controlling the list of items and hierarchy so that you can measure and monitor things more effectively. So those are how things are used from a governance activity standpoint. You've got adding, changing, identifying, and understanding these reference data lists. So what happens when you want to create a new list, change the list, identify where lists are and what their values are, and understanding what they mean or how they're used in each data system.